Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm going to talk today about KTM and what the hell is going on with these guys. I mean, they're all over the place. If you guys haven't heard about the camshaft issues on the 790 and 890s, then stick around. Alright guys, so you've seen my previous videos, my buddy Joe's with his 790 KTM with the camshaft issues. The bike is not here yet, but I'm gonna get to this in a little while. Let's talk about what's going on with KTM. I mean, since I did my last video, actually quite a bit happened. So KTM's parent company, Pierre Mobility, they laid off a whole lot of KTM employees. They said they recorded about 30 to 40% loss from last year, and they just couldn't handle the cost anymore, and they let over 200 employees go. Now let me put that in perspective. KTM is not like Ford or Chevy, that put out millions and millions of bikes. They are a large company, but they're not that large. So letting go of 200 employees, that's a big deal. And why are they doing this? Because they're not making enough money. Their stock's been dropping all the way 50% all year long. So what's the deal here? The deal is, sadly, that customer service has been really bad with KTM. Now so many people are having issues with their bikes, and KTM is just denying it. They said, oh no, this is not a problem. Or they say, well, we fixed the problem in 2021, and yet even new bikes still have the problems, still have these issues. So obviously KTM owners are not happy about that. So not only that, but also KTM moved their whole production to China. So we know KTM is an Austrian, a European brand, and very proud of what they did. But moving everything to China is not necessarily a bad thing, but we just have a bad reputation from China. If it's made in Chinese, it's crap. So with going to China, they're going to lower their costs so they can sell the bikes at a more competitive price range, so they can compete with a brand new, let's say, Tenere 700 or a Suzuki 800. But they're still made in China, not in Japan, not in Austria, not in USA. So I don't know which way this is going to go. Some people might say, oh, well, they're like 4 or 5 grand cheaper, I might get one. Some will say, communist in China, I'm not going to send them my money. That's going to be up to you. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen in the future here with the brand. But I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand exactly their plan, what's happening here. So a big problem I've been seeing online, because I've been studying and following this quite a bit. So many KTM dealers are denying the issue. If you have a KTM, you go to your dealer and say, hey, what's the deal with the 790, the 890 or the Norton 901 camshaft issues? They're going to deny this, and they're going to tell you they never heard of it. It doesn't exist. It's BS. So why are they lying to the customers? Well, they kind of have to. Here's the thing. A dealer doesn't get to pick and choose how many bikes or what bikes they're going to sell from certain brand. The manufacturer is going to tell them. So any KTM dealer is going to get a certain amount of bikes shoved down their throat from the manufacturer, and they need to sell these bikes. So now you walk into a dealer and he has, I don't know, 5 790s or 890s sitting there, and you could talk to the guy and you mention that problem, the camshaft issue you heard of. He's going to obviously decline it or deny it because he tried to sell this bike. He needs to move them. So that whole situation, how corporate is handling it, is putting the dealer in a very bad spot. The dealer has to lie so he can sell the bikes, but the dealer knows what's going on, because if you have a used 790 or 890 and you go to the dealer and you try to trade it in, they're not going to take it. Or they're going to say, well, we only take it in if we do the cam inspection first. And then you go like, hold on, you just told me there's no problem, but you want to check that my bike doesn't have the problem that you just told me doesn't exist, right? Makes no sense. Very, very fishy, very problematic, not a good deal whatsoever. So following all this on social media, I noticed that it depends what dealer you're dealing with. The outcome of your situation depends dealer to dealer basis. I've got guys, they had the camshaft issue, and in 5 days it was resolved under warranty. $0 paid. They dropped the bike off Monday, they picked it up Friday, it was fixed. Others, dealer said, it's not my problem, it's not under warranty, we won't cover it. Some say, well, the goodwill act that we have been hearing it, that KTM is gonna case by case goodwill the parts, and in some cases even the labor to fix that, you know, to put on their side that they want to keep the customer, which I think they should do. All of the dealers should do that. In my opinion, if anyone brings a KTM in and has that problem, they should call corporate and say, hey, we have another one, and they should say, fix it. Because with so many bikes out there having these issues, they're not doing a recall. And I understand a recall is extremely expensive. I mean, if you sell a $100,000 Ford or Chevy truck, you know, and you have to replace the motor, it's one thing. But if you sell a $14,000 adventure bike and you have to replace the motor, you know, you're gonna go bankrupt. So I kind of understand why they're not doing a recall, even though everybody says they should. I kind of understand both sides. It's just a bad situation from either side you're looking at it. So of course this is a well-spread issue, and everybody has their theory out there. I mean, if you go online and you start looking, you're probably going to find 40 different theories about what's going on and what's the problem, and people that suppose fixed it or found the issue, but nobody has proof. So it's a really frustrating deal for us, the consumer. You know, we just want to ride our bikes. You know, we pay the good money, we want to ride them, we want to enjoy them. We don't want to spend hours and hours online searching for the next theory that might apply but might not, because we don't know and that guy doesn't know. It's really frustrating for everyone involved. So I've seen some videos out there, and some guys, you know, they claim they fixed it, they claim they find a problem here and there. And here's something I'm gonna say, one very common thing I see lately, that people say, oh, I saw this video, the guy fixed it. So he claimed by drilling the oil jets open with a bigger hole that fixes the problem. But let me tell you this. So your camshaft rotates, you need oil lubrication, and here's a jet. So the way this works is the oil pump moves oil, it moves oil volume, and then the restriction in the channel and in the jet is what creates the pressure. It's the same principle, like if you take a garden hose and you open it up, you just see a little flow. That's your volume, that's the quantity of liquid that passes out. Now if you put your finger or your thumb on it, it's going to shoot further away. Now you're creating pressure. So it's no different than in this engine configuration with the oil jets. The oil jets are there to create an oil restriction, which is going to bump up the oil pressure so it can shoot oil to the cam. But now what happens if you take that jet and you drill it open, you go from putting your thumb on it to taking it away or less. So now your stream that used to shoot further away now doesn't shoot that far away. So this is really not a good thing to do. I would highly, highly stay away from that hack or trick. And I'm going to come to a next point that's kind of helping here. So many guys out there, they claim by riding the living crap out of their bikes, they have no issues. They take the rough cover off, they check, and everything is perfect. Now that put me to think, if you ride your bike harder in higher RPM range, your oil pump spins faster, which moves more oil volume, which brings more oil to the jet, but the jet can shoot more oil into the cam. Kind of makes sense to me. So the problem might not be the jet, the problem might be the amount of oil that the pump moves in lower RPM. Because let's face it, you know, most of us guys that ride these bikes, the 790 or the 890s, we are not racers, you know, we're not Paul Torres, we're not Chris Birch, you know, we take our bikes, we do adventure riding, you know, some guys just ride them to work or ride them to the coffee shop or whatever. So they're very slow, they're very mellow on their bike. And this could actually be a problem. I'm kind of curious to see how many more extreme riders I can find that can prove us that with riding the bikes harder there is no issue. So where's my buddy Joe's bike? Well, it's not here yet. It's at the dealer. They're supposed to just get all the parts in. It's gonna get a new head, new valves, new cams, all the doodads, and he's still waiting. They just started assembling and they had a little issue with timing chain something. They called him and said it's gonna take a little longer, but they're working on it. Apparently, they still say this is a full warranty deal for him. He's not gonna have to pay anything out of pocket, which is the way it's supposed to be with all the dealers, not just that one. So he's anxious, he's waiting, he wants to ride his bike, and once that bike is done, he's gonna come back here and we're gonna interview him and so he can explain his experience with the whole situation. So guys, this is a short video. I hope you like my shirt, and if anyone from KTM sees this, please KTM, please be ready to resolve this issue. We just want to go out again and love your bikes and ride them and enjoy them and not being worried about the motor eating itself up. Please ask the little guy, the consumer, the guy that spends our hard-earned money on your expensive motorcycles. We want to be happy again. I really hope that KTM soon has a real fix for that, or a new engine design, you know, and figure something out with the current line, but we cannot keep going on like this. Alright guys, this is all I have for you guys today. I said I wish I had the bike here. Hopefully next video, fingers crossed, we should have it soon. We're gonna talk to Joe, to the owner, and we're gonna finish that dilemma hopefully with that video. So guys, like always, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for clicking on the video. Hopefully you like what I do. If you do, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button, you know, all the good stuff. And I see you guys in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.